It's the cheapest thing in your kitchen. You've knocked it off the table without caring. It paid Roman soldiers. It started a revolution in France. And then, one morning in India, it broke an empire. That's before we get to the wars. Salt is the only rock humans eat. Every other mineral, we mine it, melt it, wear it. Salt, we put in our mouths. The Egyptians understood this first. They packed their gods in it. That's how you make something last forever. Natron, a salt compound, dried a body within 40 days. The trade routes came next. Before Rome had roads, it had salt paths. The Via Salaria, the salt road, ran straight into the city. It wasn't the only thing they built around it. Roman soldiers were paid in salt, or an allowance to buy it. That allowance had a name, salarium. That's where we get salary. Worth your salt came from Rome, too. Salt preserved meat before ice existed. An army that couldn't salt food couldn't march. A navy couldn't sail. Cities were built around deposits. Salzburg, Salt Castle, named for mines beneath it. Control the salt, control the people. Every empire learned it. Rome wasn't the last. The next empire did something worse. France invented the gabelle, a salt tax, not a mild one. Every household required to buy a fixed amount each year from royal warehouses, at whatever price the crown decided. You couldn't produce your own. You couldn't trade for it. Caught smuggling, the penalty was the galleys. They didn't just take salt. They took everything else to pay for it. Children were prosecuted. 40,000 arrested in a single year. Salt smugglers moved in organized gangs. Informers were paid. Families were split. 30,000 soldiers employed just to stop them. That wasn't the deepest injury. The church was exempt. The people who had the least paid the most. Louis XVI collected it until the revolution that took his head. It broke the country, not the only thing. A grain of salt in every wound. France wasn't the worst. Napoleon found out the hard way. During the retreat from Moscow, 1812, soldiers were dying from wounds that wouldn't close. Salt accelerates blood clotting. Without it, minor injuries became fatal. The American Civil War. The Union blockaded the South's salt supply. Confederate forces lost ground because their food was rotting. And that was just one war. Wars have been fought over salt. Salt has ended sieges, starved populations into surrender as a strategy. And then somebody decided to make it personal. India, 1930. The British made it illegal to collect salt on a coastline of salt water, taxed. A 70-year-old man decided to walk 241 miles, 24 days. He started with 78. By the sea, tens of thousands. The British couldn't understand what they were looking at. A man picking salt off a beach, not a bomb. Salt. On the 6th of April, 1930, Gandhi bent to the ground. He picked up a handful of salt from the shore at Dandi. That was it. That was the act. Illegal under British law. Within weeks, 60,000 people arrested. Protesters stood and took beatings without raising their hands. It was the act that made the argument. Within 2 years, negotiations began. The power had changed. And none of that, not one grain, matters anymore. We grit our roads. We throw it over our shoulders. We've been told it'll kill us, too much of it. By the same civilization that once went to war over it. The gabelle ran for 500 years, taxing the one substance your body cannot survive without. Salt is so cheap it costs less than the paper bag. The question nobody asks, was it always this way? Or did something happen? You knocked it off the table without caring. Was it worth it? The Podcat.